6 exercises, 2 sets on each, 12 sets total. Got a great shoulder pump, got a great back pump. Hey guys, Martin McKillier with Live Anabolic, and today I put together a 15-minute workout for shoulders and back. And you guys ought to be really interested in this because your shoulders and your back combined are the most impressive body part on your body. Okay, what's impressive is just looking at somebody and seeing that V taper. And you can see that V taper when you're wearing a shirt. You don't have to be in a tank top or shirtless to notice, all right? And that is what really makes your waist look small. So even if you're carrying a few extra pounds around the midsection, all right, and you're having a hard time getting rid of them, you can make an optical illusion so that your stomach looks smaller by making your shoulders and your back wider. Because everything is relative. Everything is in proportion to one another. All right, so your waist will look smaller if we can build those shoulders and back. And this is only 15 minutes, but it's 6 different exercises. I got 3 shoulder exercises and 3 back exercises, and I'm gonna demonstrate them for you in just a sec. Right before I start this workout, I want to just remind you guys, we got a fantastic Facebook group. Guys, it's free. Take my word for it. You will love it. Even if you're not a social media guy, even if you're not a Facebook guy, just join the group. Click the link below this video. I'm the moderator. I'm in there every single day answering questions, and it is tons of great guys. We're getting close to 21,000 members all over the world, same age as you and me. It is a blast. Truly good people. Trust me, you won't regret it. Now, that being said, I also want to promote our YouTube channel. All right, this is what we're watching it on right now. I want to spread the word to as many people as possible, okay? So hit that little like button below this video, share it with some of your friends. There's a little share arrow, and then, you know, subscribe to this channel because Gary and I are cranking out new videos every single week and you don't want to miss one. So all those little things I ask you to do will actually help us grow our channel. All right, so a lot of you guys have bad shoulders, okay? So let's just do a quick overview of what I typically do when I go into the gym and I work shoulders or back for that matter. And so it's just simple, guys. You know, I just kind of do these circles, all right? Now your shoulder is the most flexible joint in your body, okay? Which is wonderful, but it means it's also the weakest, okay, joint in your body. It's the most susceptible to injury. And I know a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. So, you know, do this stuff both directions, all right? And I'm gonna just do it real quick here, all right? Now, you may wanna do more of this, okay? And then another thing is you can get back against the wall, or you can just do it right here. Get your elbows back as far as they'll go, and then just do goal posts, okay? Straight up and down. And you can come up and touch your hands if you want. But don't bring your hands out here. Bring them back as far as you can, and then straight up and down. All right. And another thing I do at the gym is I grab my wrist and I pull my arm slightly behind my head, and I just kind of stretch and just hold it for a few seconds, and then I'm going the other way. All right, and get those shoulders nice and loose. And then the last thing I like to do, just grab a dumbbell, all right, and let's just do a few bent over rows, okay? So brace your body, all right, and I'm just gonna be bringing the dumbbell up, and I'm just focusing on bringing my elbow back towards my waist, okay? And just do a couple or a few on each side. And guys, this really feels good on your shoulder joint. And what you're doing is you're not just working the muscles when you do this, you're getting the tendons and ligaments that surround that joint warmed up and prepared for the exercises that we're just about to do. Okay, so here we go. 6 exercises, 3 of them are dumbbell exercises. 3 of them are going to be resistance band exercises. But I broke them up so that we do a shoulder exercise, then a back, then a shoulder, then a back, shoulder, back, okay? And I really like breaking up workouts like this This is how I do it most of the time. You don't have to always do it this way, but after you do a shoulder exercise, and we're going to do 2 sets of every exercise before we move on to the next one, it gives that muscle group a little rest while we're hitting another muscle group, okay? So if you're working 2 muscle groups at one time during one workout, that's how I like to kind of split it up. You don't have to. Sometimes you can just work the same muscle, 3 straight sets, and then go to the second muscle and hit it for 3 straight sets. It's just kind of how you like to do it. This is, I think, the most effective way for me as far as building muscle. So the first exercise, we're going to be doing seated overhead presses, but we're going to be doing them alternating, okay? And because we're doing them alternating, I just want you to do 5 on each side. That's effectively like doing 10, okay? So here we go. Put them on my thighs like this, and I just kind of pop them up. And it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back down here. Now guys, just rest them on your thighs because I'm going to keep rest to a minimum. Remember, this is just a 15-minute workout, guys, and so we don't have time to do lots of sets, lots of reps with lots of rest. That'll end up taking 30, 40 minutes, okay? So just 30 seconds, then I'm going to do the same exercise again, all right? 5 alternating overhead presses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 2 sets of that down. Don't rest too long because we're going to transition into the second exercise. All right, exercise number 2, we're down on our hands and knees. This is called a bear row, okay? This is targeting our back now, okay? So we're going to give our shoulders a little bit of rest, and we're going to hit our back. Now, instead of doing them alternating, all right, I'm going to do 5 on one side and then 5 on the other, and then take my 30-second break, okay? So here we go. A bear row. Kind of looks like a bear, right? Isn't this what a bear would look like if he was just standing here? All right, now you're going to have to tilt your weight to one side, okay? And then we're going to row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down, tilt to this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whew. 30 seconds rest, okay? So, because we're not resting very long, that's going to keep your heart rate up. I'm trying to talk and catch my breath at the same time, which makes it a little more difficult. But guys, if you can do this fast enough and want to push yourself a little harder, real straightforward, just up the number of reps you're doing on every set, and then do 3 sets instead of 2. Now, it's going to take a little bit longer than 15 minutes, but for you guys that are intermediate or more advanced, increase the difficulty of today's workout just by doing more reps, more sets. Very straightforward. All right, here we go. 5 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whew. All right, 2 exercises down, 4 to go. Okay, so exercise number 3 is the last of the dumbbell exercises, but you'll notice that I'm going from a back-focused exercise to a shoulder focus. Just like I said at the beginning, we're going to be alternating muscle groups with each exercise. So this is my favorite shoulder exercise, and it's also a great exercise for you guys that have bad shoulders, that have a hard time pressing above your head. These are fantastic. Now, you can't use a lot of weight, okay? But lateral raises are fantastic. We're going to do 10 reps because we're not doing alternating, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. All right, 30 seconds rest. We're going to do that exercise one more time before moving on to our first band exercise, which of course will be our 4th overall exercise. Now, one thing about these lateral raises, guys, focus on bringing your elbows up, okay? Don't worry about getting your hands up. If you try to lift your hands, you'll end up with the dumbbells higher than your elbows, and you'll put a lot of stress on your shoulder. So it's much easier for the mind-muscle connection to just think about lifting your elbows, and the dumbbells will just come along for the ride. And you're going to really feel it in the lateral part of your shoulder, because you remember our shoulder's got 3 muscle groups, all right? So we got this front muscle group here, a lateral, and then a rear head. All right, so here we go. Last set of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. All right, that's it for the dumbbells today. Okay, so for our 4th exercise, we're moving to bands. So the last 3, 4, 5, and 6 exercises are going to be right here with bands. And you'll be glad to know I've designed them all to be using a high anchor point. So you don't have to move the anchor around when you change exercises. The first one is just a lateral pull down. Now guys, when you're doing these lat pull downs, you're using a lot of muscles in your back, a lot of big, strong muscle groups. So you can do a lot of resistance, okay? So play around. Make sure you use enough resistance to make it difficult to do 10 reps. Now, I don't have enough resistance here, okay? I can do a lot more than this, but I'm doing this for demonstration purposes. And I want you guys to be able to push yourself, because if you're only doing 10 reps on a resistance in reality you could do for 20 or 25 reps if your life depended on it, you're not pushing yourself hard enough, okay? So here we go. Lat pull downs. You're going to need to get out on your butt, okay? Unless you have a really high anchor point, okay? Because I want there to be plenty of tension already. Even with my hands straight up like this, I want there to be tension at the very beginning of the movement. So you may have to shuffle back a little further away from the anchor point, okay? To make sure you got enough tension. And it depends on how many bands you're using, okay? But basically, I'm just gonna pick a point straight ahead on the door, and I'm gonna stare at it, but I'm gonna try to bring my elbows down and back. All right, so down and back, and I'm focusing on my elbows, okay? I'm not focusing on my hands or handles, all right? And then really squeeze it at the bottom, and then control those bands on the way up, and of course, on the concentric part of the movement on the way down, okay? And then, this kind of goes without saying, guys, but remember, we're using a lot of resistance here, all right? You're pulling on that anchor really hard, especially if you've got a bunch of bands loaded up. That means, please, guys, make sure that anchor is really secure, okay? Make sure your door is locked. I got it locked up at the top, and I got it locked with a deadlock, okay? And then I put my body weight on that anchor before I even started doing this, and I really pulled on it hard to make sure it wasn't going anywhere. All right, so 10 reps, 30 seconds rest, because we're trying to keep this whole workout really short and to the point, roughly 15 minutes. That means You don't have time to lollygag around. Don't get on the phone. Don't start watching TV. You know, just check your watch here. Knock out about 30 seconds. Doesn't have to be exactly. And if you're feeling pretty good, all right, if you're not feeling too stressed out, shorten the rest in between exercises, okay? So remember, we're doing 2 sets of each exercise. And because there's 6 exercises, that's 12 sets total. You throw in a little bit of this rest, and that's how you get to 15 minutes. All right, let's do another set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. All right, I can start to feel it now. I'm getting a pump between my shoulders and my back. Starting to feel that upper body kind of get big and swole with all that blood. Okay, moving on to the 5th exercise, reverse flies. This is a shoulder exercise. And remember, our shoulders are made up of 3 primary muscle groups. You know, this front, the lateral, and the rear. And the rear head is kind of hard to get, actually, all right? And it's a pretty small muscle, so you won't be able to use a lot of bands, all right? And this is one of those exercises where form is extremely important, okay? You have to really feel that mind-muscle connection. So I'm not even going to use handles. I'm just going to kind of grab the end of the band here, and I'm going to step away from it because I want to have some resistance, okay, at the very starting point, all right? And I'm just going to bring my arms back as far as I can and then squeeze and hold. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Really hold it. Now, guys, during my little 30-second rest break here, I want to talk about my hand position. So I want you to notice that I was holding the bands and I was bringing my hands back like this. In this orientation, basically I want your palms facing down. So if I was gripping, all right, the band like this, and I opened it, my palms would be facing down. That will put more of the emphasis on the rear part of your shoulder. If you are using handles and you brought them this way where your palms are facing forward, see how you rotate the shoulder like this when you do that? Now you're taking some of the emphasis away from the rear and putting it on the lateral head. And we've already done an exercise for the lateral head. Those were those lateral dumbbell raises, okay? So trying to focus on the rear head of our shoulder is difficult to do. And your hand placement, okay, the orientation in which you're pulling these resistance bands, or if you're at the gym doing a cable machine, really will make a difference in where you feel, okay, this exercise. So going back, all right, stretching it out. See how my palms are facing down, even though I have my hands closed. And that really makes me able to feel the tension in the rear part of my shoulders, okay? That's about 5, 6, 7. See how I'm kind of bouncing it a little bit here at the top? 8. You go 9. And squeeze, bounce, and squeeze. 10. Oh, woo! Starting to really burn That's that lactic acid building up. And because I'm not doing a lot of resistance here, guys, see how slow I was doing it and how I was pausing at the peak of the movement? I was really trying to flex my shoulders and get my elbows back behind me as much as possible. So the sixth and final exercise today is going to go back to hitting our back. Now, these are called bent over straight arm pull downs. It's a long name, I get it, but it's a real straightforward exercise. And you're going to feel this one way up high here in your lats. These are called your teres minor and teres major muscles. These little muscles kind of in the back of your armpit here. And you know, those are important because it really makes you look wide up high, okay? And this is a great exercise that I don't see many people doing at the gym. It's just something that they miss out on or they just don't know about, okay? All right, so remember, I want some tension at the very beginning of the movement. So you're gonna kind of have to come away from the door, away from the anchor, and bend over straight arm pull down. So I'm gonna bend over, okay, at the waist. See how I'm keeping my arms pretty straight? You don't have to lock your elbows up, but you want them to be pretty straight. And then I'm just going to stare down at the floor here in front of me, and I'm just going to pull these handles down and back to the side of my thighs. So, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so just 30 seconds rest, remember? Because we got to keep this short and to the point, okay? If you want to turn this into a really serious bodybuilding style shoulder and back workout, more power to you, but you're going to need to do more reps and more sets, which is just going to take longer, but it's totally up to you. All right, so 30 seconds goes by pretty quick. All right, instead of standing up and bending over and doing this one, guys, you can try it down on your knees, all right? Exact same position, more or less, all right? So I'm just going to pick a point, and I'm going to stare down at the ground in front of me, and I'm just going to bring the handles down to my waist, and then back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Woo, I'm feeling it. 10. Man. 6 exercises, 2 sets on each, 12 sets total. Got a great shoulder pump, got a great back pump. I am ready to go take a shower, go out, have dinner with my friends. Well, 6 exercises, big shoulder, big back, makes you look big in a shirt, gives you that great V taper, which makes your waist look smaller, even if you're carrying around an extra 10 or 15 pounds of fat that you're not real proud of, all right? This workout is a great trick. And guys, please remember, you got to stick with it and never give up on yourself.